And I think that everybody who has gone before me so far has been phenomenal, and I'm sure that everybody who's on after me is going to be just as amazing. But thank you for coming. Hook me up with a thumb if you want. I love you all so much. Ta-ta for now.
I guess we're gonna give people a chance to get up in here. And let me move my StreamYard screen so I can be facing it. All right. Hello, everybody. Kiesha, April, Candy, Julie, Southpaw, Deb, Linda. And everybody else I might have missed. Angie. Barb. Kelly. Leslie. So we're supposed to wait a few minutes to give people a chance to get off the bus. Bootsy, Peggy, Kathy, little sister Sher, Sherry, Mary, Kay, Deb, Rain Girl. So I'm new to mixed media, but I'm not new to other crafty arts. And I draw and I doodle for myself pretty much. I'm not a professional by no means. So we got 47 people up in this joint now. Thanks again for organizing these hops, Mary. It's been a blast as usual. I really enjoyed coming to these with you guys. All right, so I think we're gonna get started because who knows when the G Monster might bust up in here on me. But this is some of her doodling. You guys can see this. So this is a almost 2-year-old. She'll be 2 in May. And this is what she's been doodling. I was trying to work on circles with her. And then she really likes that green. so this is from a over 1.5-year-old. And I enjoyed her doodling. I enjoyed watching her with the crayons. And she enjoys making marks on paper. And that's all it is making marks on paper. All art, all drawing, all of it is making marks on paper. Most of us start off making marks on paper with one of these. So I'll go back to the art I was working on with Meri and the other ladies. And then so you just get a pencil or you get a pen. I know all of you remember these bad boys growing up. Those are some of the things we drew on our classroom papers when we were bored and the teacher, we just sat there and we made squiggles. And then those squiggles eventually developed into eyes, little cartoon eyes. And then we wanted them to be tired like our teachers, so we put bags on the eyes. And then our teachers, they were alcoholic. They had a big nose. Maybe he had a messy mustache. Big lips from the drinking. He had that tired look to his mouth. He was just a sad, sad person. Maybe he had his little few sprigs of hair and the rest of his head was bald. And he had his big ears. My math teacher, y'all. And then that's how we started out, just making marks. I haven't done anything complicated drawing this doodle. I'm just putting marks on paper as I remember what my old math teacher, Mr. Martin, looked like. And we did squiggles. We do the apple. But we did it because we were bored, or we just wanted something to do while we were waiting for something else to happen. Remember, we did a little window pane, little shine mark on the apples growing up. And that's where you have to understand that your art, it begins as something only for you, something you're not really sharing at that time. It's stuff you had in the pages of your, like if you had your book and you did all your math and you were one of the smart kids and you had to wait for everybody else. So you just started doodling in the corners, doing a square. The light isn't the best in here. You know, you just did stuff. Did a kite. Simple marks. A kite. You do a diamond. You put a line. You put some little strings, which are the bows. Like on Charlie Brown, they had the bows. Put a little loop over the line. Boom, you got a bow. And then this leads to stuff like this, where you just get out some markers and you decide, well, I want to do a flower. And you make your flower, a circle, a squiggle, a loop, and a loop. Maybe some of the petals have fallen down. You know? That's all doodling is, making marks on paper. Circles, squares, triangles, half loops, ellipses, elliptical, ellipses, dots with a black pen. And it's all therapeutic. It's all designed to help calm your mind and put your mind in a place where you're releasing those endorphins, calming yourself down, and stuff like that. And it doesn't matter if you're using a pen, a pencil, color pencils, whatever your poison is for getting those marks on the paper. The purpose of it and what I use it for is to calm my mind and put my mind in a place where I'm happy. Normally I do that when I'm spinning, because I actually can zone out while I'm spinning. But when I'm drawing, or just like now with the mixed media, I'm just trying to put my mind in a place where I just put stuff on the paper. I don't care how it looks. I'm doing this for me. And I'm sharing it with you guys. So when Meri was painting, I have some new oil pastels that I got when my daughter took me to Jerry's Autorama a couple weeks ago. And so I was making little dots with the oil pastels just to see what the colors looked like and felt like. And I didn't smudge them or anything, so I can do that now. And then I have some puff paint. This is somewhere around here. This puff paint I use when I crochet slippers or knit slippers. I put this puff paint on the bottom because it adds traction to the slippers. So if you can walk around on the floor, don't have to worry about sliding and stuff like that. So I had a puff paint and it puffs up. It might not be all the way dry yet because I don't have a hair dryer thing. So I had it sitting in front of my little space heater trying to dry it. And so I just took the puff paint and I just did these little squiggles, which I thought was cool because one of the pages that APGJamie, I believe it was APGJamie, it could have been Malia, was showing, had these squiggles in the design. And I thought that was the funniest thing, that I did these squiggles while I was watching Meri, and they had a piece of art that had squiggles in it as well that was similar to this. And so then a lot of you guys know I've been working on my gardening journal. So I took and cut this flower out of the gardening, one of the seed catalogs for like a little flower in her hair. And then this is some sandwich paper, and I use it for a headband for her. And then I also use it for her shirt down here. So what I'm going to do now is I have my colored pencils, and not my good ones. These are some that came in those art snack packs, and what's that thing called? Sketchbox. And they send you all these samples. So these are some of the pens I got from Sketchbox. And so this chick, she just came out of nowhere, and it's just out of your imagination. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like you can see right down here, I took and I used my markers and I refined the lines. As you see, the old lines are here, but it adds to the picture instead of taking away from the picture. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be perfect for you. So you just can go in and make marks, make squiggles, color, add the things that you want. What this picture represents, who knows, but it's coming out of my imagination. It's making me happy, and that's what's important. It has to make you happy. Don't get caught up in aesthetics. Don't get caught up in perfection, because there's nothing on this earth that's perfect. Once you reach perfection, you're no longer allowed on this planet. That's why a lot of the good die young. They're so good. They're so perfect. They've done their work so well, so early, that they no longer have a place on this earth, and they must return to the heavenly choir, so to speak, until they're reborn when they're needed to bring that love and joy, that music, that art back to the world again when we need it the most. That's the way I think of people who strive to be perfect. Once you reach perfection, there's nowhere else for you to go. So don't strive for perfection. Just strive to be you, so you could be here for a long, long time. So I'm just putting some color down with one of those markers, and then I'm gonna come one of those color pencils, and I'm gonna come in and put some more marks down. It's just quick and dirty shading. It's not even coloring. I'm just putting down some lines. So you just put down some lines where you think you want things to be. It doesn't have to be, real neat. I want her to have some color on her cheek, maybe. I should probably use the red. So I might get a red out. Maybe make her nose a little red. Maybe it's cold outside. And just do some marks. And so then we have our multi-liner pens, and we can go in and we can do other things. Like I did this earring, so maybe I want the earring to have some more dimension, so I'm going to do some little loops right here. And then like her eye. Outline that a little bit. Maybe she should have a necklace on, a pearl necklace maybe. Let me see what we got. So I got these pens from Arteza. They're different colored pens. See, her lipstick is pink. Maybe see if there's a blue in here. Yeah. Maybe she needs a pearl necklace. I'm not timing myself because I'm not one of those people who like to be timed. The only time I only like timing when I'm cooking. So I know I got 30 minutes and I'm not doing it exactly like everybody else because I'm not that into mixed media yet. I don't have little books dedicated to mixed media stuff. This is one of my art journals that I draw in. See? So I just took a page and decided to use that for tonight. And since I'm making marks, this is what I do when I'm making marks. Like, you know, like just doing doodling, zentangling. Just a line right there. That's just a line with some branches, like if you were like outside and maybe there's a mountain nearby or something, and you just there's two triangles and a squiggly line, and maybe the sun is rising over that, and then you put down, you know, like the kids do, put your little lines down, and maybe there's some trees, just rudimentary, draw a little tree. It's a triangle, you know. It doesn't have to be. It could be symbolistic. It doesn't have to be what's the word I'm looking for? A true to life representation of a tree. It just has to show whoever is looking at it that's the sun, those are two mountains, there's a valley in between, and there's trees on the mountains. It doesn't have to be a realistic picture unless that is what you're aiming for, to have a realistic picture. And you can add these little sketch elements to your drawing. And if you can't, people say I can't draw. This is a triangle and a line, and it represents a tree. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be complicated. What you do doesn't have to be complicated to get your point, your message, or your idea across. I hate it when people say I can't draw. It's a skill like anything else you learn in life. You go to college for 4 years to learn how to be an accountant and do math. Well, drawing is the same way. It might take you 4 years to be able to go from this to this. It might take you 20 years to go from this to this. But it's the fact that it's your journey that you're making, putting marks on a piece of paper that make you happy. If somebody has something to say about it, then you tell them, well, then you go do you. You go do you, boo. So maybe there's a stream coming out of those mountains. And then, like kids, when they make their little fish, maybe they're little fish in the stream. So you can just have all kinds of fun with your drawing, with your mark making. This is one that you see a lot, just like I did with the doodles. It's just a spiral. And then you'll see the kids, they like to do the bubbles, where they do the big bubbles, and then they get smaller and smaller and smaller. But what if that had a line connecting it? Now all those bubbles are connected. They're all following each other, going on the same journey, you know. And then what if that line, you made another line and thicken it out, and now put another line on this side, so now it looks like an octopus's tentacle. Maybe you could put an eye right there. Boom, you got an octopus's tentacle. So now you got to draw 8 more. All this is just from rudimentary lines. It's the idea that's important. It's not the actual aesthetic. It's the idea that you're getting across. So the next time someone says, let's play, what they call it, Pictionary, and don't say you can't draw. All you gotta do is put some marks on the paper. So we got our little octopus here with his little tentacles. This time we're going to use half circles for his tentacles on this one. And you just keep on going, you know. Can't see those because they're off the page. And octopuses have beaks. So, and then you just can add some lines to that. So give it some texture. Draw some more lines across that. Cross hatching, which is just what it sounds like. It's, you make lines in one direction, you go in the other direction. They call that cross hatching. So cross hatching can give texture to what you just drew. That gives it more depth. See, all this stuff is what she's like looking at, this stuff. These could be ideas that this lady, they're just out there for her to see. Maybe her imagination is creating these ideas on the paper. It can have a story if you want it to have a story, but it's just a piece of paper with some puff paint, some magic marker, some crayon, some torn pieces of what's it called, that paper that people wrap their sandwiches with, that wax paper. I know it has a name, but that's what this is. Some torn pieces of paper, a cutout flower, and another torn piece of that sandwich wrap paper. And all of this, if I had the time, it took less than 30 minutes to do if you put it all together into one concept. So that's what y'all need to do. Y'all need to get out your markers and lunch wrap. That's it. Get out your markers, get out your crayons, and just have fun putting some lines, some marks on the paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like when I did these two, that made me think of Meow, who is Pokemon. So if I did it like this, that's why it made me think of Meow from Pokemon. It's something that my son used to like. We can make a cat. Once again, simple lines. A triangle and a line, a triangle and a line for his ears. Some lines that hook down like a fishing hook for his whiskers. A circle for his nose, although a lot of kids will make a triangle for the nose. His little mouth, and then that's that. And you got a cat head. Maybe we want him to be a fat cat, or maybe he's not even a cat. Maybe he's a balloon, a hot air balloon, floating above the sun that's setting. Maybe there's a stick man up here, a stick woman, and they're in a hot air balloon going for a little ride. That's the little fire thing. They pulled a little string. So now you got a hot air balloon. I don't know if you guys can see this good because it's small on my screen. Probably should. Oh, you still play Pokemon with your grandkids? So and don't feel bad. Like when you're drawing, your mind actually enters a different state when you're doing this. It's a slightly meditative state, and because of the parts of your brain that are active, if you actually get into it, it's actually hard for you to talk. And that's normal. If you get into a drawing, it's you find speech to be hard because it's of the amount of your brain that you're using while you're sketching. I had the art class I took when I moved here to Virginia. It's Let me see if I can find it for you guys. I'm not sure where I put it, but hopefully it's in here. So this is one of my sketchbooks. I call it doodling, but I hope it's in here. I glue a lot of stuff down in here that I get little bits and pieces of just things. A piece of paper here, a piece of paper there that I doodle on. But there's a study that they did on artists brains while they were drawing and in the zone, so to speak, about the conscious mind and the fact that certain areas of the brain change. They get shut down somewhat while you're being creative. And your speech is one of those areas where it's, I don't know where it's at. I know it's in one of these, I think, books, but your speech gets shut down. It's in here. This book is from when Dee Dee used to do Ustream. When I first started trying to do mixed media art stuff. So, let me see. I'm pretty sure that I glued it in here. I just have to find it. There it is. So the left brain and the right brain, and it's tiny. So if I can read it, I'll take my glasses off. I am the left brain. I'm a scientist, a mathematician. I love the familiar. I categorize. I am accurate, linear, always in control, a master of words and language, realistic. I calculate equations and play with numbers. I am order. I am logic. I know exactly who I am. Right brain. I am the right brain. I am creative, a free spirit. I am passion. I can't see some of it. Let me see. I am passion. Oh, yearning, sensuality. I am the sound of roaring laughter. I am taste, the feeling of sand beneath bare feet. I am movement, vivid colors. I am the urge to paint on an empty canvas. I am boundless imagination, art, poetry. I sense, I feel. I am everything I want it to be. Now, I started out in life as a left brain individual. Then I broke my left arm, and I had to learn how to use my right hand to write, to draw, and everything else. When that happened, I ended up being ambidextrous. I learned how to draw because prior to breaking my arm, I was all about math and science in school. Once I broke my arm, I got into writing, English, drawing, and that's why I'm telling you guys right now, if I can learn how to draw, anybody can learn how to draw. Because before I broke my arm, those squiggles that my granddaughter did, I was drawing stick men and stick women before I broke my arm growing up. So don't say you can't learn. It isn't. You can learn how to draw, and all of it started out with making marks on paper just like these. And as I got older, I wanted them to look more realistic. So I taught myself by reading. And then once I got older and got here in Virginia, YouTube videos, art books, the right brain? What's the name of that book? Drawing on the right side of the brain. So I'm telling you guys, just make marks. Just take a piece of white paper and just draw shapes. And then take those shapes and make those shapes have shapes. Give those shapes shapes. Make them something different. This same triangle, maybe this is one of what's that girl? Cinderella's evil stepsisters. Did a triangular. The villain has a triangular shaped face. She has a triangular shaped nose. So this could be one of her evil stepsisters. This is something a kid could do and you could do. Just give those shapes. It doesn't have to be beautiful. The purpose is to get started somewhere. So I think my husband watched that remaking of Cinderella where the lady lost her wand and the evil stepmama got the wand and reversed time and stuff. Let me see who's the next person. So I think there's a break after me. Is there? Yeah, there's a 15-minute break after me. And then at 8 o'clock, I love to paint Aaliyah. I don't know if I can get this thing to copy. Let me see if I can get it to copy and paste. She's on. Let's see if it'll go in there. So she'll be on after me, after the 15-minute break, guys. So that's that. That's about 30 minutes is over. I got on my preaching thing. I'm sorry. So if they hadn't put all my stuff in the garage, the barn back home that burned down, I would have been able to show y'all some of my artwork from kindergarten and all that stuff. I had all that stuff in the barn. It was in my room, but when I went to the military, they moved all my stuff out of my room and gave my sister my room. And all my stuff, all the stuff I had saved from school, a lot of my awards from sports and school, all that stuff got burnt up. But hey, it is what it is. That's why I found you guys and I can create more. So, yeah. See, here's a page with doodles on it. So just make marks, make lines, have fun. All right, see y'all in 15 minutes at Ayala's. So y'all take care.